Well, the Ekurhuleni Human Settlements Department has been mired in allegations of racism with regards to billing and electricity supply. So how does this all tie in? My colleague Khayelihle Khumalo is in Benoni. He's following that story for us. Hello to you, Khaya, and let's talk a little bit about some of the electricity issues the country has been facing at the best of times. Most South Africans don't have power due to load shedding and load reduction, whatever the latest term is. But now we're hearing the story you're following for us, that it has to do with allegations of racism. Explain that to me.
Well, that's right, Gareth. So this is a perennial challenge facing a lot of South Africans when it comes to the allocation of housing. But of course, in this particular area where we are, there's a bit of a twist into it as well. But we do have a gentleman who's going to really enlighten us about some of the issues that they are facing. So, sir, you were just telling us about the discrepancies that you see when it comes to the rent payment. So, and also just in terms of how those elements are playing out. Will you just give us an indication once again?
Okay, I've been staying here for more than a year. And now the municipality wants us to pay 3,500 rent. But to my surprise is that here there's people who are paying 350 a rent. Now, our issue here is that we can't afford that 3.5, and we have approached the municipality to raise this issue, to say we can't afford this money. But unfortunately, there's a lady who works there in human settlement by the name of Regan, something like that, who is very rude and very hostile when it comes to black people in particular. So we raised that issue with her to say we can't afford that money. And what she said to us is that if we can't afford that money, by starting from yesterday, which was the 7th, they will start sending eviction letters so that we must leave these flats. So that's the situation that we are facing. I mean, our meters are being blocked. We can't buy electricity. There's people here who've been staying for more than 8 years. Now they can't even buy electricity. They are living out of this free unit. And that free unit, you can't even cook. So they are using primer stoves, and they've got kids. I mean, now we are approaching winter. It's not even safe.
Okay. But also the twist here is about the racial issue, where there is an allegation that certain racial groupings are allowed to pay about 350 rand, and you say you must pay about 3,500 rand. So you can see the massive gap there. Tell us more about that.
Indeed. Well, though I don't want to make it a racial issue, but you know, well, there's Indian people who've been staying here for many years who are paying 350, and then there's also Indian people who are paying that 3.5 who have just came in like us. So that's why I don't want to make it a racial issue. But the discrepancy, you can tell. I mean, your neighbor is paying 350. You are expected to pay 3.5. I mean, that's not fair. And we had a meeting here with the councillor, and the councillor promised us that no, the rates, the rent will drop to a level of maybe 1.2, so that everybody can afford to pay that rent.
And now your plea to the municipality, obviously you say they want to issue out eviction order. What would be your plea to the municipality? Well,
my plea is very simple, is that, you know, as you can see, we are facing serious issues, economic issues. I mean, we can't afford that money. We want the municipality to drop the rates, the rent, to at least 500, so that everybody can afford that money. Because now, as we speak now, people are living, like I'm saying, people are surviving out of those, free units. Those units, they are not even 100 units. You can't cook with those units. So that's the problem that we are facing. And also, that woman who's working there in the human settlement, that Regan, she is very hostile when it comes to black people. And I want to put it on record that, I mean, we have approached her and we have spoken to her, but she is very hostile when it comes to black people. For me, it's a race issue with her.
All right. Thank you so much indeed, sir, for your time. So, Gareth, during the course of the morning, we'll try and get a comment as well from the municipality here in Ekurhuleni, but also just to understand, you know, because most of the tenants here, they say the living conditions here are quite appalling. So we'll have an experience where we try to interact with them to understand their daily experiences that they're subjected to.
Terrible conditions. Khayelihle Khumalo, thank you very much indeed. Housing are not just about the physical structure that you're under, with the risk of that being demolished as well, but even those who are fortunate enough to have a roof over their heads having to deal with issues such as electricity being cut off. And as that guest of Khaya said, now heading into winter, to have your power turned off, it's never a good time, but especially during winter with young children. Now,